Radha Madhava Kunja Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Gandharvika Giridhari Radhika Raman Radha Damodar Giriju Ki Jai Ho Om Agyana Timirandasya Jananjana Salakaya Chakshu and Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manopistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namo Mahavandanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gaura Tavashe Namaha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. First of all, I'd like to offer my heartfelt Puspanjali unlimited times to the lotus feet of my Harinam Diksha Guru, my Srila Prabhupada, who saved me from hell and who's given me the topmost possibilities to attain prem. And to my, second of all, to my Bhajan Shiksha Guru, Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, my Guru Dev, who has kept me on the path, given me the strength to continue on the path. And then to Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, who gave so much wonderful shiksha. And then to Bhakti Vaibhav Puri Goswami Maharaj, who has given me my assistants who make the class possible. And to all the assembled devotees, to the entire Guru Parampara, especially Nitai Gaur Gadatar, Gandharvika Giridhari. And to Siksastaka, which is the method for bhajan, the method for attaining prem. There is no other way, no other way, no other way. Harinam, 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 maybe Kevalam. And this, as we know, this astakam issued from the mouth of Satchidananda Gaurari, none other than Krishna himself, covered with the moods of Srimati Radhika. There could be no higher truth. Very simple. He didn't actually, because he spoke a lot, but it wasn't written down so much. We have some record, as we know, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Chaitanya Bhagavad. But what's we issued as an astakam from his mouth, the Siksastakam, is so all-inclusive. There's no need in one sense for anything else, but of course there's so much else to support it and to, like, you might say the purport of it, to fluff it out so that we can understand it more. So we've gone through the first verse. Now we're still on the second verse. One reason why we're still on the second verse is because it's actually the most important verse in one sense. If you're reading Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's Madhurya Kadambini, this verse, or this part, which is Sadhu Sangha and Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, is his biggest chapter in his Madhurya Kadambini. It is huge. It's all about Anartha Nivritti, getting rid of all the obstacles, all the barriers that we have, so that we can, that causes so we cannot chant properly. We cannot chant even Nama Bas, really, what to speak of Sudanam, what to speak of Premanam. And this is our goal, Premanam, filled with Seva, you know. Premanam filled with Rasik Seva, like this. That's the goal. But at our level, we're lucky, not lucky, we are in Nam Aparad. Mostly, at least I'm in Nam Aparad. Our Nam has not even really come to Namabas. Maybe sometimes we're chanting Namabas, like this. So how is it to get rid of, why do we have all these offenses, and how to remove the offenses? How? And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says his third chapter of the Madhurya Kadambini, one should read over and over and over again. It's so important. And the biggest obstacle, as we know, is offenses. Not sin, not material pious activities, not even incorrect or inattentive seva, although that's also there because this causes offenses, but nam aparad. So today I thought we'd look a little bit at the 10 offenses of the holy name. But first I wanted to speak about the second verse corresponds to the second time of the day, the morning pastimes of Mahaprabhu and Radha and Krishna. Prata Lila, right? Morning pastimes. So first we look at Mahaprabhu, his Prata Lila, and second of all we look at Radha and Krishna. Because the tattva is there so that we can actually, to support the Lila, right? So we can become qualified to enter into the Lila. But we need this Lila. We need to understand. So at this time of day, which is from about, depending on where we're at though, 6 o'clock in the morning till about 8:30 in the morning, if it's kind of the normal place, the normal time, if we're in Goloka Vrindavan. Okay, so we've talked about Radha and Krishna waking up, some like this, and Mukara coming. But first, let's talk a little bit about Mahaprabhu. We already see, he's woken up, he's spoken, he's done gone to the Ganga and like this. But there's a nice song, a beautiful song that Bhaktivinoda Thakur has written that includes both the Leela and the Tattva for Mahaprabhu. It's how is he going out? What is the mood that he's going out with? We could just think, okay, Mahaprabhu is waking up, he's talking with Mother Sachi and Vishnupriya, and he's talking with the devotees, and he's going with Sankirtan to the Ganga. But that is one. But what about going into the actual, how is he feeling? What is happening there? What are the bhavs? What are the moods? So I thought we'd just sing a little bit of this one song that's so beautiful. Like I was saying to the girls, when I was first in Mayapur, must have been 1975, one of my godbrothers, Achutananda, he'd been in Mayapur for a long time with Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami Maharaj, and he learned how to sing all the songs of Bhaktivinoda Thakur in the Bengali style. not in the typical ISKCON style. And he was singing this song in front of Radha Madhava as Prabhupada would be coming and the sun would be coming up. And it just, I still cannot forget that. This mood is so beautiful. So the song is Udilo Arna by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And I thought we would just sing a few of the verses and then we'll dive a little bit into it. Udilo Arna Dujamani Gora Amani Jage Bhakta Samuha Nayasate Gela Nagara Vraje Gana Gana Dahe Janjera Prima Dala Dala Sonara Anga Charane Nupura Baje Madhava Yadava Hari Bolore Bolore Vadana Bori Micheni Dava Se Gelore Rati Divasa Sarira Saje Vimana Dulaba Manavadeha Payaki Koro Babana Kea Ebena Bajile Yasoda Sutta Charana Mayage Tita Tapana Hoile Asta Dina Gelo Boli Hoi Baby Asta Tabe Keno Ebe Alasa Hoi Nabajori Dayaraje Jivana Anicca Jana Hosawa Tahena Navida Vipadapa Namasraya Kori Jatane Tumi Takaho Apanakaje Krishna Nama Judayo Bhakati Vinoda Pran Nama Bina Kichu Aikawara Choda Bhavana Maje Jivera Kalyana Sadanakam Jagate Asiye Maduranam Navijati Miratapane Rupe Rikagane Viraje Udila Aruna Purababage Vitamani Gora Amani Jage Bhakata Samuha Loya Sate Gela Nagara Vraje. So what a beautiful picture. What a beautiful meditation. Here we have is Bhaktivinoda Thakur has captured the mood of Mahaprabhu at this Pratalila time. He's going out. He's going through the village of Navadvip. He's going to the Ganga. He's coming back from the Ganga. So the reddish sun is beginning to rise on the eastern horizon. And he's the jewel among the Brahmins, the twice born. What he's taking his devotees with him, and he's going into all the towns and villages of Navadvip. And what is it? Tatai, tatai, the mridangas are sounding. The kartals are playing and ringing in time. And everyone, especially Mahaprabhu, he's swaying. His body is swaying. He's so absorbed. He's like intoxicated elephant. And he's overflowing with prem, isn't it? This is it. His prem is just, and what is happening? It doesn't say here, but what we know, he's always remembering himself as Krishna in Braj with his devotees. Sometimes he's remembering himself with the cowherd boys, sometimes with Srimati Radhika. He's absorbed in Braj Leela. This is Mahaprabhu. He's topmost guru. He's teaching us how to do bhajan. And this is a way to do bhajan. With the devotees is Nam Sankirtan, loud Nam Sankirtan with moods like this, going and singing and dancing like this. This is very rare to find this. Very rare to find this kind of Sankirtan, isn't it? Most, when we do Sankirtan, we're thinking about, oh, do I look great? I'm wearing my sari nicely? Is my makeup on nicely? And let's try and dance like this and dance like that. And, it's kind of an artificial, whatever it is. Or else, oh my goodness gracious, I got to hit it, like this. But Mahaprabhu and his devotees, this is what we aspire for. We aspire for to enter Navadvip Dham. Swaitadvip, Navadvip, Prakat Leela. This is how we first come in. Usually we go through Gaur Leela, and then we come to Radha and Krishna Leela. So in Gaur Leela, the devotees are always so absorbed in prem. So they're singing and swaying and going through all the towns. And their ankle bells, they wear ankle bells. They're jingling and tingling, tatai, tatai too. And they're so graceful and they're going on. And they're singing what? Mukunda, Madhava, Jadava, Hari. Everyone's chanting, completely absorbed, remembering themselves, who they are in Braj Leela, like this. And for newcomers, those who are coming from being Buddha Jivas, one day we'll enter into Navadvip as leaving the Buddha Jiva category and coming into the Sadhan Siddha category. Our purification's happening by the influence of Sri Nam, Sri Guru, the Vaishnavas, Bhagavan, like this. Bhakti Devi herself will be our nartas will be cleared, and we'll be able to have the fortune to be what? In Navadvip. Dancing along the Ganga, the banks of the Ganga, just crying out, here's Madhava, Yadava, but also Bhaktivinoda has another song, he's going, hey Krishna, hey Radhe, Dekadi, no, what's the first song of Siddhi Lassal's? Kobe Hobe. Yes. When will I be wandering along the banks? Yeah, he will be wandering along the banks. And probably at first we may not be with Mahaprabhu. Maybe, if we're lucky, we'll be with Mahaprabhu. But we'll be absorbed in Ha Radhe, Ha Krishna. That's like the Goswamis. Their example is, in separation, Ha Radhe, Ha Krishna, Hey Radhe, Vrajadevi Ke Chalalite. Always, where are you, where are you? So in Navadvip, where are you? Even Radha, Krishna, where are you? This is the example of Mahaprabhu, who's topmost guru. The goal is not actually Navadvip. The goal is Vrindavan. But Navadvip is so merciful that Navadvip purifies us so that we can actually serve Braj Ras. The goal is to serve Braj Ras. Enter into the dancing party of Krishna, Rasa Leela, as one of his maidservants, as the maidservant of Srimati Radhika. Also, Jugal Kishore, the maidservant of Jugal Kishore. So here, what is Lord Chaitanya at this time of day? He's talking to all the conditioned souls. He's not just absorbed in his own tasting. Isn't it Prem Ras Niras Kortya Asadan? Rag Marg Lok Kortya Pachan. He's preaching to the conditioned souls. So this also for ourselves, we have to learn to taste, to chant properly, and we have to preach. We have to somehow, little bit. But he's saying, he's telling everyone. He's telling them, please fill your mouths with the holy names. Please, please, please chant. You're just passing your nights in vain. Captivated by what? Sleep. And your days decorating your body. How sad. In his time, we learn from the Chaitanya Bhagavat, they were so fallen, they were even marrying their cats and dogs. Chaitanya Bhagavat tells it, they were so far away from bhakti. This is Navadvip. The Muslims were there. causing so much trouble like this. They certainly didn't like the chanting at all. We know that. And he says, don't any of you think what you're doing, having achieved your rare human form of life? This is another thing. We need to understand how absolutely rare the human form of life is. It is so, we take it for granted. We think either that it's the only, we get it for one time and that's it and you don't get another life. Or we think, oh, life is eternal. I am a spirit soul. And because I've come to bhakti somewhat, and I'm a guru, I will definitely get a human form of life in my next life. That's not necessarily true. And the example is, of course, it's Leela for him, but for his Bharat Maharaj. He was so high, he had reached Bhav, he was so exalted. And he'd been the emperor of the whole world. He gave it all up like stool. And he had reached such a high level. And actually, he never really fell down. In the Brihad Bhagavatamrita, it says he chose to take this fault of having become attached to a deer. It's to help in the pastimes of Krishna. He didn't actually, it's not possible for him to become attached to a deer. But he took, just like Maharaj Pariksit, he took on the fault of putting a snake around the sage who wouldn't give him water, who wouldn't want to. He just didn't hear him, like this. So it's so the Bhagavatam could appear. And so with Bharat Maharaj, he take on this example as you have to be so careful. You may not get a human birth in your next life. You may not. So we have to take it seriously. This is what Mahaprabhu is saying. If you don't worship the son of Yashoda, you will fall into shameful condition at the time of death. It's shameful. And we're reading 5th canto in the hellish planets, and believe me, they're not pretty. The hellish planets are absolutely ghastly. Really. What is really? So, with every rising and setting of the sun, you're busy counting the passing days. Why then do you still remain idle and not worship the Lord? Why? Wake up, wake up, wake up. Chant, chant. Know the essential fact. Material life is temporary, filled with various troubles and burdens. Earnestly take shelter of the holy name and remain engaged in your occupational duties. So go on with what you're doing. This is what he's telling the conditioned souls. They're in Navadvip, but for the whole world, because these Bhaktivinoda is so merciful. He has taken the essence of Mahaprabhu and he's put it in songs, in kirtans, and what has happened? These songs, by the mercy of our Srila Prabhupada, have gone all over the world. It's not just for the conditioned souls in Navadvip, or in Gaur-Mandal, or in India. This teaching now is going all over the world. So anybody in any corner of the world can take them. He's so merciful, Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Even while you're working, no matter what you're doing, just chant. Take shelter of the holy name. It says, drink the pure nectar of Krishna Nam and give relief to Bhaktivinoda's burning heart. So Bhaktivinoda and all the pure devotees, their hearts are burning in anxiety, seeing the suffering of the living entities. They're hearing the cries of the souls who are in hell, suffering so much. They're hearing this cry. What to speak of the cry of the devoted now, the persons in Gaza, what's it called? Gaza, or in Ukraine, or even anywhere. All the little spirit souls are being aborted in the wombs of their mothers. They're hearing these cries of agony, And he says, there is nothing except the holy name within all the 14 worlds. Nothing. That is so beautiful. Nothing. The holy name is everything. It's Radha and Krishna. They're merciful, so merciful. They've come as their holy name. Desiring to benefit the living entities, these sweet holy names have come to the material world. They shine like the sun in the sky of the heart, destroying the darkness of ignorance. How fortunate are we to be human beings and to have Satguru and to have the holy name coming through. Because if the holy name doesn't come through, as Srila Sridharma would say, Vaikuntha, from the spiritual world, then it's not really the holy name. It has to descend. The holy name is descending from actually Braja Vrindavan. Because Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, this is Radha Krishna. They're descending through the Rupanuga Guru Varg. You know? They're the ones, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana, they have Radha and Krishna in their hearts. Their hearts are filled with this moods of seva to Radha and Krishna. So if we're receiving the holy name through them, we have a chance. We actually have a chance. If not, very difficult, very difficult. Maya is so strong, so strong. Ignorance, because we came in being born into ignorance, isn't it? I am the body, everything belongs to me, I'm the enjoyer. And if I'm not enjoying, oh dear. What it is, see, what happens is the ignorance causes us to want to be the enjoyer. And so then we start contemplating everything in the material world, which is actually an illusory place, temporary, but we contemplate them as something that should give me happiness. I should be able to enjoy here. And so we become attached to anything that we're contemplating. And the word that's used in the Bhagavad Gita is sangam. We start to associate with that thing. Let's say you start to associate with, I'm a lady with a very handsome young man. Or even just this nice soft chair. Or some food that we really like. And we just start, and so then we become totally absorbed in it. And then what happens? Lust. 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 I must have it. It's meant for me. It's meant for me. So then also with this comes envy. Uh-oh. That girl just went off with that handsome boy. Oh dear. Jealousy, envy comes. And from this lust then comes automatically anger. This is just plain old Bhagavad Gita. Anger. We get so angry. And from anger, then we fall into what's called delusion. We get all confused. And from confusion, then comes loss of memory. And what happens when we lose our memory? Our intelligence is destroyed. And when our intelligence is destroyed, what happens? We're completely fallen in the material whirlpool. We lose all of our spiritual intelligence, everything. And that's what now, as a practicing devotee, as a sadhak, it happens less and less. Unless we become careless. If we become careless, then we've seen, even around us, maybe, what we consider maybe somewhat advanced devotees, they become a little careless, especially if they become a leader and they're maybe not so qualified. They take on too many followers, or, we want to be worshipped like this, or, oh, wow, this people will come, they have lots of money, they'll support me, like this. Or, oh, my guru, well, he knows everything spiritual, but actually he might not know so much about the material. So offenses come. Offenses come. And especially we start stop being very surrendered to Guru and the Vaishnavas. We stop being surrendered, we stop having faith in them, and we start to disrespect and criticize them. It can be Guru, can be Vaishnavas, can be God brothers, God sisters, or even the jivas. I'll say even a jiva, who you would think, oh, it's all right if I criticize him. Like, who is it, that leader of Russia, Putin. Well, it's okay if I start criticizing him and calling him, saying this and that. But no, because this is prajalpa. This is not favorable to devotional service. It may even be the truth. Or even when you're talking about a God brother, it may be even the truth. But Krishna doesn't like it. Bhakti Devi doesn't like criticizing, especially Guru and Vaishnavas, what to speak of anyone. This is the first offense to the holy name, criticizing especially the devotees, especially Guru, but really criticizing anybody. We are not supposed to be taking our time with criticizing. This is an offense to the holy name, very serious, because this is the number one. This actually causes all the problems. And it comes actually because of the 10th offense. The 10th offense is, even though we've heard the glories of the holy name, we've heard the spiritual truth, I'm not this body, I'm a spirit soul, I'm a servant of Krishna, still we remain attached to, oh, I'm an American. Oh, I'm an American, I'm an American lady. And oh, American ladies, we're equal rights. We're as good as the men. In fact, we're better than the men. And just this, oh, that belongs to me. This is my room. This is my room. This is my car. This, the 10th offense and the first offense, they all go really hand in hand, and everything in between. This I and mine. I and mine. So constantly, in one sense, we need to be giving ourselves basic Bhagavad Gita class. Chapter 2, I'm not the body. I'm not the devotional service. Bhakti is the only answer. And what to speak of the four, what do you call them? The four, the four slokas of the Bhagavad Gita that are the most important. They're so beautiful, actually. They're the answer. How is it that we can actually become free from all this? So Krishna himself is saying in the 10th chapter, which is called Vibhuti Yoga, he says, we have to understand, I am the source of both the mundane and spiritual worlds. Everything comes from me. And the wise, so the devotees who know this well, what do? They engage in bhajan of me with bhav in their heart. So it's not that we go around with bhav in our heart of anger saying, oh, Putin's such a jerk. He's a blah, 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 blah. What kind of bhav is that? Is Krishna going to be pleased? He's saying, no, you do bhajan of me. Me. You have to say, oh, Mukunda. Mukunda gives meditate. He gives liberation. Mukunda means one with a beautiful kunda flower face, he gives liberation to Srimati Radharani's braid, Haribo, Just think of me. I'm so beautiful. Look at me in my threefold bending form. Woo, I'm much more exciting than this Putin. He's so, God, what a bore. That guy's right. Well, think of my pastimes, Look at the boating pastimes, And think of the boating pastimes. Krishna's got the gopis in the boat, and he starts rocking it, and they're all like, "Whoa!" And, well, okay, just throw away your water pots, they're too heavy. Oh, wait a minute, that's not working. Throw off your jewelry. Well, I think you're gonna have to throw your clothes away too. Yeah, he's such a. Yeah. Oh my gosh, so much more interesting, so much more attractive. Then he goes on to say, those whose minds are absorbed in me, Krishna, and whose lives are wholeheartedly devoted to my service, derive great satisfaction and bliss from what? Constantly enlivening one another with the fundamental truth. So tattva, we talk about tattva with each other, and to others, the conditioned souls, and performing kirtan of my name, form, qualities, and pastimes. Anything beyond that is unfavorable to bhakti. And surrender means we give up what's unfavorable. That's just in Shraddha. That's just in Nishant Leela. What to speak of now, we're coming up. We're supposed to be doing bhajan. And the anarthas will be going. But if we don't do this, our anarthas, how they can go? If we don't do bhajan under sadhu sangha, we won't get anartha nivritti. It's not possible. And we'll go on criticizing. And even if it doesn't come out of our mouth, because we're born with envy, lust and envy. That's also Bhagavad Gita. We come into this world with lust and envy. So what happens is, okay, I'm a good girl. I'd never say anything bad. But in the mind is going, the mind, oh my gosh, my neighbor's so popular. Everyone goes to see her, and no one comes to see me. In the mind. Or, oh, wow, whatever it is. Whatever, that envy is so deep and so subtle. I'm just using gross examples, but there's very subtle. Oh, her height. When she speaks downstairs, when we're talking about Rupa Goswami, oh, her speaking is so good. And everybody, wish I could. It depends on the mood. Sometimes it's okay, but if it's envious, this envy is so all-pervading, and lust is all-pervading. Where does lust sit? And envy's right there with it. We heard about that before. It's Pratista and Matsarya. They're doing a dance together. We talked about that last week. Doing a real dance in the heart and the mind. Isn't it? It's dancing around. Lust sits in what Bhagavad Gita says, lust sits in the senses, the mind, and the intelligence. Lust and envy. They're the all-pervading sinful enemy. Yeah. And the mind is more difficult to control than the raging wind. But Krishna has given the solution. He has come himself with his Shakti. Radha and Krishna have come in the form of the holy name. There is nothing more powerful. Even the raging wind is not as powerful as Radha and Krishna. In fact, the raging wind is afraid of Radha and Krishna. Everyone and everything is afraid of Krishna and Radharani, Radha and Krishna. And they are subdued, completely subdued. Come under control. So if we take shelter of the holy name, understanding the potency, that's what this second verse is talking about. Sarva Shakti. All Shakti is in the holy name. There is nothing more powerful than the holy name. But our problem is we don't have the faith. So this is, we have to associate with the sadhus who have that faith, who can impart that faith unto us, so that we know, actually, we need nothing. Like Rupa Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, all of our acharyas, they didn't have to do anything but chant the holy name. And they were attacked by many things, right? The Muslims are here, we're there. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur was even attacked by devotees like this. But they didn't become upset, they just took shelter. Of course, they're highly advanced souls. They didn't have to even call out to Lord Nrsingadev. No. Simply Radha and Krishna. Brajadam, Tulsi, they have their Tulsi beads, like this. Vrindadevi, Bhaktya Vihina Parada Lakshai. Who can dissipate offenses? Vrindadevi. So if we really take shelter and we have the faith, we'll see that all our opposing elements that come, in whatever way they can come through another person. It's not really that person. It's actually just Maya Devi. She's so strong and she's so clever. She can come through the weather, the material nature, the weather. She can come through our own senses. She can come through another person. She can come in any way, but she is a servant of Krishna. She is a maidservant of Krishna. So if we understand that and we just chant with that kind of faith, nothing will be able to disturb us. This is a high state, so we have to practice. And as Rupa Goswami says, he says, even though it's bitter in the beginning, like jaundice, you're taking sugar candy, and the sugar candy is very bitter, right? Very bitter. But if you keep taking the sugar candy, it'll get sweet, the jaundice will go. So now we have no taste because of our offenses in the holy name. No taste. Well, we might have a little bit of taste because maybe some of the offenses have gone. But we have to keep chanting, keep chanting. So this is the method for removing anarthas, is never disobeying the Guru and the Vaishnavas. Bhagavan himself. Like, we don't disobey Bhagavad Gita. We don't disobey Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhakti Devi herself, who's actually Srimati Radhika, we don't disobey. And what is it? We always have. And it says not just surrender. Srila Gurudeva said careful surrender. Carefully surrendering. With the complete understanding of their spiritual nature. So that means to understand the spiritual nature of the gurus, our gurus. Who are they? of the Vaishnavas, of the Dham, of the Nam, of the Shastras. Complete understanding, we surrender. Then it's easy, because what is surrender? You give up what's unfavorable, you accept what's favorable. You understand, I'm completely protected. I'm completely maintained. Completely. So therefore I can give my whole self and just serve with a very humble attitude. Know that I'm completely dependent. That's surrender. Seva, seva, seva. And the seva has to be what? Affectionate and with proper respect and honor. Not just, oh, Gurudev here. Here. Oh, Krishna here. Yeah. Oh, I made this here. No. With affection and respect and honor. Like this. Eventually, as we become more purified, then things will become more intimate. But we should not imitate that at our level. Not at all. That would be an offense. And by doing this kind of seva, this is the only way we'll be able to remove our anarthas. And the most important seva is what? Kirtan. Chanting. And kirtan means japa. It means Harinam Sankirtan. It means Harikatha. Speaking. Not just hearing, but speaking, chanting, singing, and remembering. This is the most important. Nam, Shri Nam, it's Radha and Krishna. And so by doing this, eventually our envy will subside and our lust. And so then our tendency to criticize will leave us. Our tendency to, and it's just like a natural habit for us, isn't it? You see someone and you think, of course, I don't know. I know how my mind thinks, how nasty it is. I might see someone and just automatically think something really disgusting. It's horrible because it's a bad habit. We've had these minds for so long. Unlimited lifetimes, and they're full of bad habits. Some people, they more think like something more subtle. I have a tendency to just think, oh, wow, he has a big ugly nose or something, Hare Krishna, something stupid like that, That's what comes through the mind. You have to think, oh, stop it. It's not the body, Hare Bo. Why did you think that? When you're trying to chant your Diksha mantras or something, Hare Krishna, oh, my goodness gracious, my relatives over there, they haven't sent me the money they're supposed to be sending me, It's so cold, I just can't get out of bed. Oh my goodness gracious, whatever it is. So really, verse 9, we're supposed to be constantly absorbed in enlightening one another with Krishna. Verse number 10, to those who worship me with love and yearn for my eternal association. So you worship with love, as much as we have, affection, and with the eagerness has to come. Eagerness to attain Krishna. Eagerness. Then what happens? Krishna gives a transcendental knowledge by which they can attain him. He will give it. He has it. And sometimes he gives it through Sri Guru, like Om Jnana Timirandasya. The Guru has that torchlight of transcendence. He can light up, right? Or Krishna himself might do it. He's also Chaitya Guru, like this, And then what happens? Only out of compassion, out of his mercy. But he gives to the devotees, not to those who aren't devotees. And a devotee is someone who is humble, compassionate, forgiving, always truthful, never criticizing, not these offenses. And they're exclusively devoted to him. Dwelling within their intelligence, I destroy with the blazing lamp of transcendental knowledge the darkness of material existence, which is born of ignorance. So it's Krishna and Guru who will come in our intelligence, and he will destroy all the anarthas. But not until he's seeing that, oh, they're following my instructions. They're glorifying me. They're speaking about me. They're trying to help others reach me. And they're doing it with affection, not out of pride, like this. He's looking for the move. He bhavagrahi. He's just looking for the mood. He's hungry. Not for the bakoras, not for the sandesh. He's hungry for the mood. Here, Krishna, I don't have anything else. I just have this apple. I'm so poor. Here, please take it. And I said, oh, yes, that looks very tasty. So when the mood is there, when we have some mood like this, then he's destroying with the shining lamp of knowledge. He'll give us what? He'll give us that bhav. Vigyan, realized knowledge. Realized knowledge of what? His dham, his closest associates, Srimati Radhika, his mother and father, Yashoda and Nanda, and his good friend, Subal-Saka, Madhumangal, the Jamuna, Govardhan. This he will place in our hearts and our minds. And not only that, he'll make us so qualified that this whole material ignorance that we've encased over, that's covering the soul, he will destroy. It will be gone. And who we are, the spirit soul, will emerge. And as we're more and more, the bhavs are more and more manifesting and more qualified, he will come himself, or he will send someone to take us by the hand and take us back to Braja Vrindavan. And we will enter Leela. And it all comes with his chanting. If we just continue chanting under proper guidance, in Vrindavan, or with our mind and hearts Vrindavan, it will all come from chanting. You don't have to go to Radhakund and pay a bunch of money to get your Siddha Deha and then read these books and this and that. You don't have to be a great scholar, and learn how to read in Sanskrit, the Ujjvala Nilamani, and memorize everything. No. Because it's coming from bhav. What's a secret bhav? Then it comes from prem. This is something that has to be given. Awakened, you might say. We have the potential, but it has to be awakened. And it's awakened by the bhaktas, by Bhakti Devi, by Bhagavan, when they're pleased with us, when they see that we're trying. We're trying to chant without offense. If we do, because of our past bad habits, we make an offense. We criticize. Then what do we have to do? We have to acknowledge that we've made the offense. And if the person there, okay, but at least to ourselves, to Bhagavan. But if so, we go to the person and say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That was really mean of me to say that. We have to feel sorry. We have to acknowledge it and then continue chanting with remorse. This is what Madhurya Kadambini teaches us. We have to continue chanting with remorse, begging for forgiveness. And if that person forgives us, especially if it's a Mahabhagavata, they never take offense. Never. They don't feel offensive, but Krishna sees the offense. He doesn't like it. Like this.
The dust of their feet.
Right. The dust of their feet also takes offense, who is their followers. Like that. And even if we've committed offense to someone who does forgive us, that maybe did take offense, we never stop lamenting. Just because they forgive us, we say, oh, okay, everything's fine. No. Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says, you always lament. You lament and you feel bad. And you're always feeling, oh, how I could do that. How I could do that. And you continue chanting then in a more humble state of mind. We'll come to that like this. It's so important. I know myself, because I was a meat eater when I was, growing up. I didn't become a vegetarian, what to speak of a devotee. I became a devotee when I was 25. But I became a vegetarian in my teen years. Can't remember when exactly. But still, even that, unless you offer your food to Krishna and you're taking prasadam, it's all karma. It's all harming another living entity. Like this is himsa, violence. That's what comes from lust and envy. Violence and jealousy. So I know myself, when I see a cow, I said, please forgive me. And please, on behalf of everyone please, like this. Because it's we were supposed to suffer for every hair on every cow. And if you read the Bhagavatam, it's not a pretty suffering that was coming. They're awful. Really, really. So one of them is you put in a tree, and in this tree it's really high, and it has the spikes coming out from this tree that are like thunderbolts, and the Yamadutas, or whoever, the assistants of it, they pull you down, and your body is just completely, but you don't die. And you go through that for so long until you're finished with that particular span of punishment. I mean, that's just one of the unlimited hells down there. So Hare Krishna is very sobering, very sobering. So we have to become very humble and very conscious, just like McGrary the hunter. He would half kill animals because his father had taught him how to do that. And he was happy seeing the animals struggling. Imagine what hell. Narada Muni said all those animals were lining up to torture him. And he gave him that vision, right? He broke his bow, he gave up everything, gave everything away, and became a devotee, right? And when his guru, Narada Muni, was coming to see him later, and he saw these ants on the ground, he was just moving the ants so he wouldn't step on the ants. He had finally become conscious that all living entities have a soul. They have pain. They feel pain. And he could finally feel that pain. He didn't want to cause pain to anyone else. So most of us born now, we're not so much, we're born quite stone-hearted because of our offenses, and also the culture. The culture where we could just kill anything and eat it, or kill anything and wear it as a coat, or kill anything and wear it as shoes for our pleasure. It's our samskars, especially if something really small, we don't even notice. We don't think, oh, that little ant that's a spirit in a body. You'd crush it, He's going to feel pain. Mostly, until one starts to come to devotee sadhu sangha, it's like, get out of my way, you're in my way, Oh, crunch, crunch, crunch. Hare Krishna. Oh my gosh, I need to make a lot of money. Let me go to the Amazons and cut down all the trees and start growing whatever it is they're growing over there now. What is it that they're growing? Soybeans or something. All the trees in the Amazons are starting to cut. It's affecting the whole climate of the world. Plus, those are living entities. You can't just go do that without any consequences. And this is what's being propagated all over the world now. So you can imagine the consciousness. Imagine what we're coming out of unless we were born devotees. Or at least Indians in some kind of pious Hindu family. Very hard-hearted. Very hard-hearted. If it pleases me, it's all right. And we see that even sometimes in the Indian society. Because the second offense to the holy name, the first part of it is we do not feel that Krishna's name, form, qualities are equal to him. We see a difference between him and his name and his form. That's an offense. But the second part of that is to think that the demigods, especially Lord Shiva, or any of the demigods, are actually equal or independent of Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and they are controllers, but they're subordinate to Krishna. But in India, you see that Lord Shiva is number one, Durga Devi, Kali, number one, Ganesh, Hanuman, like this. No, this is an offense. And in Kali worship, Durga worship, what do? Of course, some of the scriptures it says that you can offer a goat once a month. That's there. But they make slaughterhouses. And what? They sell the meat as, this is Kali Mahaprasadam. That's going on here in India, big time. So India is also, we have to understand the ignorance that we're born into. And then we have to come to the truth, which is coming from the mouths, the lotus mouth. This is that Harikatha. This is Sri Nam coming from Guru and the Shastras. And we have to have faith in it, follow it, preach it, like this. And if we've offended Krishna by thinking, or Mahadev or Kali, please forgive me, because you're actually, Kali Devi, actually, I'm so sorry. You're not number one. Actually, you also are a devotee of Krishna, So we have to be careful like this. And what's the third offense? Is to blaspheme the scriptures. The scriptures.
Guru.
Oh no, 3 is guru. That's right. 3 is guru, to blaspheme. To not think that the guru is completely transcendental. To take him as a mundane person and not to follow his instructions properly, because you're thinking he's just mundane. This is very important. That's very self-explanatory. As we heard, we do not disrespect in any way or disobey Sri Guru. If we do, we feel very sorry. Very sorry. We're constantly asking for forgiveness and for the strength to be able to follow him properly in all ways. Not just Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. No, but to chant with mood, to chant with attention, like this. And just speak and be humble and polite and everything to everywhere else, to all over God, brothers, God, to every living entity. This is what we see in the devotees. Even Mayavadis, you see, Mahaprabhu, he would be so polite. All the Mayavadis in Varanasi, when he was invited to their big assembly, he went and sat with all the shoes, isn't it? He was so humble. But then he started emitting all this effulgence. He became so effulgent and so beautiful. And Prakasananda came over and took him by the hand, brought him in. He won their hearts by his humility. And then he's speaking so sweetly the absolute truth. He defeated all their bogus philosophy. Because he had a compassionate, loving heart. He didn't hate them. He wanted to help them. He wanted them to become free from the Mayavad philosophy that was like covering them. Always forgiveness, compassion, it's always there. So this is Sri Guru. Imagine, Srila Prabhupada, he comes to America, and all he's feeling is compassion. Compassion. He's like, wow, he's come to like hell. This is forest monkeys dancing white elephants at the best. Worms and stool, no good behavior. And he's just thinking, I want to give them Krishna. I want to help them. Just like Mahaprabhu, wake up, wake up. You're wasting your time. Please chant the holy name. It's like the sun. It will go into your heart and it will dissipate all the darkness. And we felt that with Prabhupada. When we were around Prabhupada, we were so happy. We didn't care about anything. We gave it all up. I lived in a room when I joined with 35 ladies, one room. One toilet, one shower, one sink. But we were so happy. We just ran to Mangalartik and we were all day long. We were doing seva. We were so happy. Prabhupada was emanating that sun of prem, right? We were taking, But then, of course, the tests get a little bit more hard when he enters Nitya Leela. Then we still have to keep, like for me, I have to keep Prabhupada there. And he's giving. But I have to practice. Right? And I have to be careful, like this. We learn from our mistakes, like that. So then the fourth offense is to blaspheme the Vedic literatures. And usually we won't blaspheme the literatures that talk about bhakti. That we usually don't do. But we do have a tendency sometimes to blaspheme other scriptures, ones that propound karma or yoga or gyan. We think, they don't talk about bhakti, they're useless, they're no. But we should not do that. We should understand that the Shrutis are all given, they're descending, they're part of the Vedas. They're coming from the spiritual, and they have a purpose. Like the Shastras that give the instructions on karma. They're trying to help the how do you call it? The what's the word? Those human beings are just untamable. What's the word? They're just doing all kinds of everything. There's a word, I can't say it. I can't think of what I'm losing my English. Anyhow, those human beings who have no good behavior, no good nature, they're doing all kinds of sin. They're just unrestricted, bad. Yeah, uncivilized. It's so that they will start to come and they'll see, oh, well, if I start to follow these rules and regulations, I can be more happy. And I might even be able to go to heaven, or I might be able to do this and that. See, so there's a reason. And then if they come to this, there's a possibility that they might meet a sadhu. You see? A sadhu. Also with gyan. So if you come to the gyan and you're studying all this, you might meet a sadhu. Like this. So Prabhupada, though, he was so merciful, he went down into the wildest, the most fallen, and he gave his association. Even we didn't really have any rules and regulations. Well, we kind of had a little bit of Christianity, but it was really going fast. Going fast. Like this. We really kind of knew you weren't supposed to go around killing people. But we knew we could kill. Of course, by the time I joined, I was a vegetarian, but we thought, well, a lot, because we're still meat eaters. We can kill animals, like this. So he came to the lowest of the low. Like this, unbelievable. So we should never criticize any of the Shastras. Any of them. Because they start to bring someone in, they start to become trained. They start to follow a little bit of a regulated life. And then it's possible for them to hopefully get sadhu sangha. Then the next offense, is that the imagination or is it?
I think it's Arthavat, like you consider it's in interpretation.
Oh, yeah. Here, let me look at the list. I don't remember them all in order. Where we're up to? Okay, the fifth offense is to consider the glories of the holy name to be exaggerated. Yeah, so it's an exaggeration. Yes, this is we think, actually, the holy name's not really so powerful. Krishna's not really so wonderful. Like this. To think everything's just exaggeration. Mainly because we're coming from the mode of ignorance. The conditioned soul is coming from the mode of ignorance. So he has no idea of something so amazing. He's just too much covered by ignorance. He can't imagine, like, somebody who could lift Govardhan Hill on his little finger. Well, that's a bit much. So how could anyone do that? Or even, especially coming from the West, before I became a hippie, I couldn't even imagine things like, even yogis who aren't even very pure, because you hear that yogis can just maintain themselves on breathing, like this. That's that's amazing, The Western world's very low consciousness, very low consciousness. They don't even believe in mystic powers, really, like this. What to speak of spiritual powers. So we have to accept the extraordinary qualities of the spiritual energy. And then the next one is...
imagination.
Yeah, is to think that the holy name is imagination. Yeah. And that is, sometimes people think that, just the great sages and saints in the past, they made this all up so that they could be famous or whatever. They just made it up. It's just an imagination. It's not real. When you say Hare Krishna, it isn't really Radha and Krishna. No. Somebody's just saying that, They just want us to get more confused, like this. So that's an offense. And now the next one is Oh, yeah. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. This one cannot become purified of that unless one stops this. One has to stop. Because what does it happen? Oh, I'm just going to continue chanting. And if I continue chanting, then if I do this sinful activity, the chanting will nullify that. That'll be my atonement. That's one of the worst offenses. And if one keeps chanting and committing sinful activities, chanting is useless. Useless. It's because we hear that by continuous chanting we can become free from the offenses, right? If we lament and we beg for forgiveness. But someone who doesn't really doesn't have his heart doesn't change, doesn't beg for forgiveness, he just keeps doing it. No. This is not acceptable. In fact, we'll stop chanting after a while. And then what's number 8? Oh, yeah. To consider the karma, kanda, the activities of routine religion, penance, and all this to be equal to the transcendental name of the Lord, that's a big offense. Sacrifices, giving in charity, it's not the same. We all know this. It's not. The holy name is the atonement of all atonements. It's the beginning, the middle, and the end. In fact, Srimati Radharani is chanting Krishna, 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 in complete ecstasy, forgetting everything. It's the goal of life. Premanam. You can't get that by opening 10 million hospitals or giving $10 million in charity. Not possible. Now, what do we have? To instruct the glories of the holy name to the faceless persons. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't go out like we did in my time on book distribution or Harinam and talk to the fallen conditioned souls. That isn't what this means. Because in that, we're not instructing the glories of the holy name. We're just asking, please chant the holy name. It's the names of God. This will help you. But to instruct the actual glories, the intimacy of the holy name to someone who doesn't want to chant. Like this. And usually even on Sankirtan, when we go out to distribute books, we would neglect those who were averse. We didn't try and force a book on someone who would, was like blaspheming and calling us names and this and that. The only thing we might try and do is get them to touch the book. Because Prabhupada said if they just touch the book, their lives will be changed. So we try and get them at least to touch the book. But we weren't trying to instruct them in, oh yeah, this if you chant Hare Krishna, you're going to be able to enter one day into the Nikunja Leela of Radha and Krishna. No, we don't do this, No. And then the last offense is, which we already talked about, to keep the material conception of I and mine. I'm the material body, and everything connected to the body is mine. So, and along with that, then one doesn't actually have attachment or attraction or taste for chanting. If one keeps this concept, actually one cannot have taste, really. And at that point, if we realize this is where we're at, or somewhat like that, that's when we have to make the instructions of our Guru our life and soul. And because he's asked us to do it, we do it for him. Out of affection, out of gratitude. Okay, Prabhupada, you have saved me from hell. No doubt. Now, I don't have so much attraction to chanting. I don't. But because you're asking me to do it for my benefit, but I really don't even feel that so much. I'd rather just sleep and eat popcorn and, or do whatever, watch TV, But because you're asking me to, and you have made me more happy, you've taken me out of the miserable condition I was in. To make you happy, I will chant for you. Gratitude, affection. like this. Then Srila Prabhupada will give everything. Or Sri Guru will give everything. He will clear the unwanted habits that we have in our mind and our hearts. He'll clear the anartas. And we'll finally come to, and next week we'll start on text 3, Nishta, firm faith. We had some faith, Shraddha, coming sadhu sangha, bhajan kriya, narta nivritti, but Nishta means firm faith. And what does firm faith give us? What does this Nishta give us? Freedom from these anartas. What Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains, he says, you're trying to honor Mahaprasadam, you're trying to take a feast, and someone's stabbing you with swords. You can't really enjoy the feast, can you? So this is the thing, we're trying to chant holy name, but our anartas are stabbing us, so we can't enjoy. We cannot relish. But when the anartas are gone, then we can start to relish the feast, the holy name. Like this, then the taste will come. That stabbing that's coming, oh, it's the mind or this or that or whatever, There's so many ways. There's ghosts, there's this, there's that. And ghosts are real. It's not that they're not real. They are. There's so many, yeah. There was one story of a disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was very powerful. I can't remember his name. Was it him? Okay, Vaikanas Maharaj. He was very powerful. And he was somehow sent to stay in this house overnight, and it had a Brahma Rakshasa ghost in it that would eat people. No one came out of that house alive. And the ghost came to get him and eat him up, and he just wasn't bothered at all. And I forget exactly how it goes, but the ghost said, I can only be delivered by someone who's followed Nirjala Ekadasi for a year. Like that. And Vaikanas Maharaj had done that. So he said some mantras, and I think water.
I think he gave him the result of, I don't know.
Well, he gave him the results, or he did something. He was powerful enough, and this ghost was liberated. Didn't cause any more time. He came out of the house. Everyone was so surprised. They saw him in the morning. He hadn't died, But ghosts are real. Living entities, there's right up above our planet is where they all live. If you study the structure of the universe, right above us are all these kind of, spirit souls that don't have bodies, doing all kinds of nonsense. And then right below us, in the subterranean heavenly planets, if you read the 5th canto, there's planets of snakes and all kinds of things, but right below us, it's just so strange. The planet right below us is a planet of these women who are so lusty. And any man who comes, they give them some kind of intoxication so they become like this. And that's what the planet is right below us. Hare Krishna. Hari Bo. So, and then what to speak of actually our universe itself? There's so many different, if you read the structure of the universe in the 5th canto, there's so many different sections, even just in our planetary system. And the hellish planets are way at the bottom, way over in the corner, near the Garbhodakshaya ocean. They're there. They're real. So we pray to the holy name to please forgive our offenses, to please give us the strength to be able to go on chanting for the pleasure of Sri Guru and Gauranga, and take shelter of Sri Guru and the Vaishnavas, Sri Nam, the Shastras, and to chant Hare Krishna. Just Hari Nam, Hari Nam, Hari Nam, Eva Kevalam. It's the only answer. There is no other answer. And everything will come from that. We should never give up our faith. Never give up our faith thinking something else. In China, I hear there's so many disciples of Gurudev, because he went there. He went to China, we remember. And they only saw him once. Some never even saw him. But unfortunately, because of lack of association, sadhu sangha, many of them are becoming Buddhists again, or atheists, or this or that. So we should be careful. Be careful. Keep sadhu sangha. Keep sadhu sangha and chant. Okay, I think we'll stop here. Harinam. Vanchakapadusta kripa sindhu vivata patitanam pavanebhyo vaisnavebhyo namo namaha.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
There was one more thing I wanted to say. That is, the holy name have promised us something. Mahaprabhu has promised us something. That is, if we keep chanting, and gradually we go through these stages, Shraddha, Sadhusanga, Nishta, we'll come to Ruchi, Ashakti, like this, what will happen? Naturally, our Siddhadeha will appear. Naturally. This is the real thing. And the Leelas will descend. It's not like now we might be trying to remember something. That's the ascending process. But the Leelas themselves will descend and give us so much joy. And we'll be able to enter into in our spiritual body. This is the promise. Don't think there's any other way. Just chant. And I promise you, I will descend. Radha and Krishna will descend. With their name, their form, their Leela, everything will descend. And it will be the real thing. It will not be unreal. It will be truth. We have so many sahajiyas now doing so many things, and it's not the truth. It's simply not the truth. If we're patient and tolerant, actually the Leelas, Radha and Krishna, the Dham will descend, and we will actually enter in by the power of the holy name.
Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari Gandharvika Giridhari Radhe.
Jaya Gandharvika Giridhari Gandharvika Giridhari Radhe.
Jaya Radhika Raman Jaya Radhika Raman Jaya Radhika Raman Jaya Radhika Raman
Jaya Radhika Raman Radhika Raman Raman Jaya Radhika Raman.
Jaya Giri Raja Jaya Govardhana Giri Raja Jaya Govardhana
Jaya Giri Raja Jaya Govardhana Giri Raja Jaya Govardhana.
Gurudev 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 Jai Jai Gurudev
Jai Jai Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada
Jai Jai Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol
Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Prabhupada said, and this is for all Satgurus, all Rupanuga Gaudiya Vaishnava Gurus, just give me one lifetime. Try your best. Give me one lifetime and I will do everything. I'll take you back. If you want it, you desire it, you believe in it, give me one lifetime. It's possible. Jai. Hari Hari Bol.